right, guys, welcome back to the ALGS channel. Hope you guys are all doing well and having a great day so far. Good bit to dive into and discuss in today's video. We've got to talk about what in the world is going on with this Luminosity roster. After yesterday's video went live, we talked about DSG and Dojo possibly coming together. Then shortly after, Luminosity drops the ball and basically drops a really massive roster announcement as well. We should be getting a follow-up roster announcement pretty soon, as we talked about also leaks coming from Imperial Howler, ideas putting two and two together, who he thinks Luminosity is going to sign after the recent news. And then also we've got to talk about pro player Zaine. A lot of people were wondering if he was like a secret trial third for Sweet and Nafen and them, or maybe another team, or maybe he's looking at another European team. Sadly, we've got some other news to share about what's going on with Zaine as well. So if you guys want to stay up to date, all things Apex Legends esports related, of course, like the video, subscribe to the channel. Without further ado, let's go ahead and dive into what's going on with Apex Legends esports right now. So for a little bit of a lighthearted scenario to start it off with, Sikezz and Xynew had some drama on the Twitter timeline last night. I thought it was too funny to not make mention of. It was like one of our first articles. It's not traditional, it's completely troll, but it's about their drama that happened last night. So it starts off, if you guys were not aware, the Carnage Cup took place last night, and Xset with their new third, Koifel, were able to take the dub. And of course, this is good news for them. These guys have been looking very strong. The new Xset roster has been so good since picking up Koifel. Honestly, I would say that this roster is actually, honestly, it's been quite an improvement from the likes of their former player Sikezz, and that's obviously no shade or anything like that. It's just the way that it is. They've been playing really good. Well, Xynew kicks it off by throwing a little bit of salt in the wound here by tagging Sikezz in the fact that they won without him. And of course, Sikezz was like, yo, you got picked up to Dark Zero because I told Zero you were good, then they drop you for me. So they start the colliding here. Then Xynew comes out with saying, no one got dropped, you stupid freak. I gave you my spot, then you made the team worse. And Sikezz says for sure, obviously deflects a little bit. Xynew wants to pull up the scrim and turning placements, and it has been true. Dark Zero has not looked too strong since they've been playing with Sikezz. They have had some, success moments in there as well, but overall not been great. And then that's when Nocturnal steps in saying, let's make the peace, let's be friends. It's not that big of a deal. I've rescinded my meme. And Xynew says, this guy wanted to make it personal after a troll tweet. This isn't my fault. Sikezz says, sorry, I retract my previous statement. Let's just go play ranked. And of course, the two made up and lived happily ever after. Also wanted to mention what in the world is going on with Luminosity. Yesterday, if you guys missed it, right after we talked about Dojo and DSG, Luminosity put out this announcement that sent a lot of people overboard, to be honest with you. Today, we are announcing that we are parting ways with our current ALGS roster. This is Nizel, Yanya, and Yaguarez, and then their coach Pastillo as well. This was shocking, and I was not expecting this at all. This team had done so good at champs. They'd been doing so good in general. They're just a really good roster in general. Even got the Imperial How vouch as well, but basically saying that this team has exceeded expectations in all forms and fashions. We can't thank them enough for the work that they've put in. The only thing that makes sense, obviously, is that they're going after a bigger, better roster, or maybe a bigger, better talent that is just a bigger and better social media presence. That's the only thing I can think of course. ALGS partnerships that are also in question, because LG obviously has a partnership with the ALGS, one of the 12 orgs. So of course they're not leaving. They're not going anywhere. They're not leaving Apex. They're simply coming back with a new roster. And what is that new roster going to be? Well, according to most, and according to Imperial How, it is going to be none other than Sweet Dreams and his roster with Nafen. Now, we're still unsure exactly who their third player is going to be completely, but Luminosity not only put out that they were moving away from their old roster, then you had How coming out with his live stream, by the way. He said this live on stream, which I thought was crazy. But anyways, take a look at what How said about the Luminosity roster update. Roll the clip.
LG is not leaving Apex. LG is not leaving Apex. They're literally dropping a roster for a better roster. If you guys have two fucking brain cells, let's combine them, put them together.
Got some materials for us.
Make a, who's possibly free agent with a full team that's been looking for an org this entire time. His name starts with S. Maybe have a Dreams in there. Who knows? 2 + 2 is 4. Sweet Dreams is going to LG. The sky is blue. Yeah. The only orgs that are probably leaving Apex is 100 Thieves and Complexity. Everybody else is still in the game, so stop making shit up.
So obviously, I think a lot of people would probably agree that it makes sense for Luminosity to go after this roster. But when you compare it to the former roster, LG Chivas, I don't know that it makes so much sense, but it does make sense to have someone with a big social media presence like Sweet Dreams up your corner as well, because it's going to send the Luminosity brand up a lot more as well, because the two powerhouse organizations for North America has always been the NRG versus TSM fandom, right? It's always been those two, because it's like everybody sides with either the CEO or they side with Sweet Dreams because they're just such like big presences in the scene. So we'll really see, honestly, where this all goes. I do predict the Luminosity is going to happen. I do not see them going to FaZe personally. I just think that Luminosity is a wrap. I think this is obvious. Tech also said that LG being dropped for another team. It seems like Tech already knows, right? Tech saying that they were dropped for another team that has shown no performance. I don't know that I would say no performance. Obviously, you know, top 10 at, well, I think they got like top 10 at champs, at top 10 at second place at split 2 playoffs or split 1 playoff. So I don't know, but as a 3-man team, it should remind you though that Apex is a streamer esport. I felt like that is what kind of solidified that maybe he thinks it's Sweet Dreams as well, because obviously Sweet being a big streamer, orgs know that they got to go after prize possessions like that. So we'll see how, obviously, you know, I guess how it goes, but I think that this is definitely going to happen. Also, we got to talk about their, I wouldn't say their potential third, but more so, a lot of people did think that maybe Zaine was trialing out for Sweet's roster at one point, or maybe he was, I guess, you know, anticipated to be on the lookout for a third trial as well, but didn't seem like that's actually happening, or neither did it ever happen. It doesn't seem like, also because turns out Zaine is actually going to be stepping away, unfortunately, from Apex Legends competitive going in to year 4. This was you know, leaked to us by a source that we will keep private for now, but honestly, just sad stuff. I really hate to see it because I felt like Zaine was one of the better controller players out there on the market, also in the EU scene as well. But sources basically just said that they spoke to Zaine, and Zaine basically said he was going to be taking a break and stepping away from Apex Legends competitive. Now, of course, if you're not sure exactly, you know, Zaine's past, he got his real big kick off of Jay Ling's at, I think, split 1 playoffs or something, or maybe even year 2 champs. But Jay Ling's in general was at that lane. I think it was split 1 playoffs with Xset when Xset was going crazy. Jay Ling's was like keeping up with Xset. They were looking really strong, and it was all about Zaine. Zaine is a great controller player. Of course, after that, he gets a little bit of a step up to go play with the KCP, Kansas City Pioneers, with Nasky and Serdell as well. And that roster looked good. Matter of fact, they looked so good that they got like 6th place, I think, at ALGS champs last year. So a really good showing out of them, and it's just unfortunate that the reason that this roster really split to begin with could be for some personal reasons. Maybe the teams wanted to change, I don't know, but we know KCP obviously left the organizational, or left the scene for ALGS, and that's another organization that we lost through the whole, like, you know, drama of Apex not taking care of an esports thing. So who knows if this roster would have really stayed together if that didn't happen. But the fact that they're, you know, it's kind of crazy. You look back, FaZe is up there, KCP is up there, of teams that did good at champs and still split up. And a lot of it is because, you know, maybe some of these rosters wanted to split up, but a lot of it is because simply the organizations left, therefore the teams had to go look for other opportunities as well. So we'll hope to see Zaine back one day, but for now it seems like he's going to be gone and taking a break. We'll see what you guys have to say down in the comment section below. Of course, like the video, subscribe to the channel if you want to stay up to date all things Apex Legends esports related. And until the next time, we'll see you all later, Gators.